Hello and welcome to our today's release webinar of PTV xServer API version 2.11. In short, our newest release 2.11. I hope you can hear us well. If you have any questions, please use the question panel and our colleagues will handle those. So I just give you a few seconds more, and if everything's okay, we will just proceed. Great, sounds good. So let's begin. So today we are the team product management for PTV xServer. It's Isabel Hornickel, myself, and Steffen Kiesecker. Presenting something to present. I do have something to present. I'm Daniel Möwes.
And me as well, Steffen Kiesecker here. So we are the two of us will be providing the information today. And let's get into the agenda.
We have 4 parts. So we have a few general or framework points. We have something in rendering, geocoding, and last but not least, some new features in trip planning and updates in trip planning. So let's start with general points. We do have a new PTV content update service, and we now support feature layer based toll data. The feature layer based toll data is the upcoming new toll format. We already provide toll data in North America with this feature layer toll data. So that's already in place. The content update service can handle that. The content update service itself is updating all your data like toll data and live traffic information. So if you use toll data, you should run a content update service to be up to date. The second point is we now support the Linux Docker and provide a script running Docker under Linux. So that's a big improvement on that side. And we reduced the memory footprint of our the map data, of additional data, in this case, feature layer data. As you might already know from previous release webinars, we have a new map object. So we share the map data over the different modules. So we reduce the overall memory footprint, and now we are working also on the additional data, reducing and sharing this data over several modules as well, or several X services. So that's for the general points. Let's proceed with rendering.
So thank you. So now I'm just giving a quick overlook about 2 topics which are new or improved in the 2.11 release of PTV xServers. So first of all, we introduced a new rendering profile called Amber. So I hope you can see the screen, which shows the dashboard with the profile selection of rendering profiles. And besides all the known profiles from previous versions, we now introduced a profile called Amber, which is basically built with less background colors and features to render in a single tile or in an image, to shrink down the network traffic because the image size is now smaller. So this rendering profile could come in hand, for example, in distributed systems like Citrix environments. So therefore, we now support a new profile with less traffic in your network. Another topic on the agenda is we improved the feature layer rendering for PTV truck attributes. And also here, I would like to show this in live. What we are doing with truck attributes, we are rendering icons per segment. So each segment which has a blocking on it is individually rendered and used an icon for. What we're now doing to shrink down the overflow of icons in a map image is we render the icons based on the network level of the road segments. So as you see, the bigger roads are getting the icon with the information about the blocking sooner than smaller roads. So on the smaller roads, we introduce those icons very further in very big zoom levels. Only if you zoom in very tight. Of course, you also got the strokes in higher zoom levels that you can see there is a blocking. But to get more detailed information about it and see the icon rendering, you need to zoom in a bit more. This especially can come in hand in large cities where a whole inner city is blocked. So there, every segment is rendered, every segment gets an icon. And here we also introduced the rendering of icons for bigger roads first, and only if you zoom in very far, you receive the icons for the smaller roads. So this is shrinking down the overflow of map images and makes it more readable for the customer or the user.
Yeah, reduces icon cluttering.
Yeah. So, and that's basically it, what I wanted to show about the rendering, the new rendering adjustments or profiles in the 2.11 release. And now I'm going further to geocoding. In the 2.11 release, we first introduced the long postal codes for UK and Ireland. So we're now providing long postal codes in forward geocoding, and we introduced a reverse geocoding method for the first time, which is currently experimental. I hope all of you guys know what experimental API means. If not, there's a description in our manual as well. So we first introduced the reverse geocoding in xServer 2 environments. And how is this working? I would combine the live demonstration of long postal codes and reverse geocoding in one. So if I'm going to Ireland and use the input Dublin as city, Henry Street, house number 16, you can see that I get a result with the full long postal code in it. So this is a bit of pity with the solution here. So maybe I'll do it like this. Sorry for that. So there we go. As you see, we got the long postal code now in the response of the geocoding request. One or two restrictions of long postal codes. At the moment, we are only able to provide long postal codes which are connected to the result type's exact address and interpolated address. This means I need to put in a house number to search for points connecting a long postal code. If I'm only searching for the Henry Street, I won't receive the long postal code. Yeah, but together with the house number, I do. So, and this is now supported in UK and Ireland. So that's basically forward geocoding using or receiving long postal codes. If you find if you're testing and find some points which you're not okay with, or find some strange entries, always feel free to contact PTV and give us a hint about what you found out. And another topic I also talked about is the reverse geocoding. So here again, we provide the known result types, which are also present in the forward geocoding process. And here also you are able to do the reverse geocoding on long postal codes. So hopefully I find an address with one. So nope, unfortunately not. Let's use the.
That's an exact one.
Yeah, but let's use the coordinates from our Henry Street result.
That's kind of cheating.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
this looks strange.
It's the other way around. Yeah. It's a -6, and the 53 should be. Yeah, there you go.
No, it's still the wrong one. I don't get it. Sorry. Strange behavior here. Here we are. So now it's working. So here is a first reverse geocoding, getting back an exact address. Here we also got the same restrictions as in the forward geocoding process. I only received the long postal codes attached to my reverse geocoding response if it's an exact address or it's an interpolated address. Now, to understand how we do the reverse geocoding, I would like to give a short overview of how the internal algorithm is working and how we're searching for. If I'm pressing into the map, searching for a coordinate, so let's go first here. We are searching in a radius of 100 meters to find either an interpolated address, an exact address, or a street section, which we then give out. And what you can see here is that there are two results coming back in the result list. Why is that? That's because we give back multiple results if the difference between one point to another is less than 1 meter. So here you can see the distance from my input coordinate to the first entry is 3 meters and 15, and the second one is 3 meters and 79. This is why we give back both of the addresses. Also, what you can see here is that on a reverse geocoding request, the distance is our scoring value. So we give out the nearest address located to your position you requested.
So nearest first.
That's true.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, you can do this on streets, but as you can see, there are no long postal codes in it because of the restrictions I mentioned before. If there is no address point or interpolated address found within the radius of 100 meters, then we give back the street.
So what is it searched for? Is it the rooftop coordinate or the street entry coordinate?
It's both. We give out the nearest location to your input coordinate. So you get either the result based on the rooftop, which is determined here by the dotted line. This could also be that you receive the results based on the road access coordinate, depends on which one is nearer. So you can also get mixed results. If you got a point within one street and you got the rooftop on the one hand side of the road, which is near to the input location, and on the other hand of the other side of the road, you got the road access, and both of them are not further away than 1 meter, then you get both back.
Yeah, but it could differ from your use case. So if you want to implement a delivery point, you might want to get a rooftop coordinate, or might target for an off-road coordinate, or if you have a track and want to see what is next, which entry point is next, you usually have a coordinate along the road.
Yeah. And now if we go outside of bigger cities where we got a lot of address points and exact addresses which you can give back, if I'm now looking for the road, I can get, of course, the road name back because I'm now linked to the road. And if I'm going further away from the road, you now saw the switch. There I'm 65 meters next to the road, and now I'm reaching a limit of more than 100 meters that I'm away of the road. And now a second step is done, that we now increase the search radius to 5 kilometers and search for the nearest location point, which is this one, or if there is a postal code point nearer to your location, then you will receive the postal code point within a radius of 5 kilometers. If there is no point, neither the road, the address point, the interpolated street, or in the bigger search radius, no postal code or locality, you won't receive a result at all.
So if there's nothing in a circle of 5 kilometers, you will receive nothing.
That's true. We can test that by just clicking somewhere in the ocean. So then we get nothing, because we ain't got none of those result types within a radius of 5 kilometers. And if I'm now going back closer to the coast, you can see that I'm getting the locality points. And if I'm zooming in again and clicking on the road, you will see you will receive the long postal code, the address point here again with the long postal code if available. One short outlook of the reverse geocoding, what we want to improve in the future is we're currently working on an adaptive radius for the point address search, so exact address, interpolated address, or street address, which we do more of those steps. So increasing the radius, if we cannot find one result within 100 meters, we do a bigger radius and do a bigger radius and do a bigger radius, so that we can provide at least street coordinates more than just given back localities. So yeah, one additional remark for those who are new to xlocate today. The xlocate requires, or the xlocate service requires, an additional data pool in addition to the base map. So this is shipped if you're ordering a map or if you want to use it. This is shipped together with the map.
With a here map at the moment.
At the moment, only supported for here maps for North America and Europe. And this is a database which is needed in the root directory of your standard PTV map to make xlocate run. So that's all from my side. Now I hand over to Daniel again to talk about trip planning.
Yes, we have some news in trip planning. First point, we now support alternative depots in a way we didn't before. So first thing, this is also an experimental part of the API. Just to recap, what is experimental? That's part of functionality we want to provide you. You can play with it, you can see what the function is doing, but maybe they are subject to change and improvements, and after that we usually fix the API and then it gets stable and ready for productive use. So now, what did we do with alternative depots? Here you do have depots, that's the triangles and or pickups, and you have deliveries, that's the circle. Here the two blue ones, you have a pickup and delivery, and the blue circle, that's the delivery, can be done either by the blue triangle or the green triangle down there, wherever my mouse pointer is. There he is. And the yellow one can only be satisfied by the green triangle. So what we did in the past is we started from one depot, and when you had multiple depots, we picked the nearest to the delivery, and so the resulting tour was something like that. So what we now can do, when you have alternative depots for this upper delivery, we then see what is best for the whole tour and just take both pickups from the first depot and also get the delivery of this point, and the result will be a much shorter route, or such a much shorter trip overall. So that's it for alternative depots. That's available in the planned tours method. Right now we are just working on extending alternative depots to the change tours function as well. So next thing is a very big topic. We are working quite a while on that right now. It's time-dependent distance matrices. At the moment, it's also experimental. I would just like to show what we did. The use case behind that is that you try to avoid something like that. If you have deliveries to make in urban urban areas, you want to avoid rush hours, and you because that's takes time. So what we sorry, just click that. There we go. So we do, if you work in urban areas, so let's take a city like Paris, that's a good thing. And you have points like here and there and in the middle of the city somewhere. And here we calculate the distance matrix as usual, and you can use the distance matrix as usual. As usual means we have the routing type conventional right now. High performance routing is not available for this feature, but you see we are calculating this distance matrix not only for one point in time, but we calculate the distance matrix for a whole time horizon, in this case for 24 hours with a 60-minute step. And you see if you have one relation. Oh, that's a very, very good example. I have to enable speed patterns, I see, because now what you see is, of course, the same speed over each time frame. When we now enable speed patterns, it calculates it for every hour separately. And what we actually do is we calculate it and spread the different travel times to peak markings, so highest and lowest, and we try to optimize how many points we use. So you see now, as soon as I get the point, there is variation over the time, and it's also what you see here, it's 48 hours. It's not just repeating every day, but you see now it's from right now, 24 hours in the future. And you also see on Saturdays, it's a different times than on Friday evenings. And we do take that into respect with the tour planning. So you can refer to this distance matrix with the time span, and you get back different results, and presumably better results like that. So that's it for that. Plus, we now stabilized the multi-day tours with the working hours European regulations. That was experimental in the past. We stabilized it for the 2.11 release. So you can use it in productive environments. And we had some additional quality improvements. Mentionedly, it's the detailed exceptions. We have some more detailed exceptions, so you can now better react to some exceptions thrown, like invalid tour requests in planned tours and change tours. So that's it in short. Of course, you can get in touch with us. You can get your xServer. That's the most important thing. The 2.11 is already available on our customer area, on our product homepage. That's on xserver.ptvgroup.com, and you get in there with your personal or company credentials. If you miss those credentials, there's also a submit email you can send to us. Or, of course, on xServer Internet, the test deployment is already the 2.11 release. Then, thank you very much. That's everything from our side. I hope you got the information you need. If you missed something, just get in touch with us. If you have general questions, maybe also about what functionality we have overall, get in your xServer Internet test environment, just look in the release notes, and then you have an overview of all the features also for the past releases. So thanks again from my side. Thanks for your attention, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much also from me, and hopefully see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.